You can share your weather videos with us as well by scanning the QR code you see right there on your screen. All right, you've had my mind racing since I saw you in First Weather, my friend. You teased ahead to discussing, or at least a breakdown of the hail in the golf ball size. I mean, I see golf ball, ping pong sized, which is pretty close to golf ball size. But
you wouldn't be wrong. We did have golf ball, or even think about the typical egg you'd buy in the supermarket, a large egg.
That to me is concerning, honestly.
It is, yeah. And it's not that we can't get these hail events really any time during the year, but for us to get this time of year, I think it's the best chance of happening now, just because we still have a lot of cold air up in the atmosphere. As we get into the warmer months, the higher levels will warm a little bit, and to get the hail process going, you need that cold air high up in the atmosphere. Obviously, you need other factors as well. And
it came together yesterday.
It just all came together. It was a fairly low severe weather event. The wind threat was low. There was virtually no tornado threat. It was all really about the hail. I think, John, this headline on this graphic kind of says it all. Wait until you see this, John. This is unbelievable. And this is what I was talking about when we did get upwards of golf ball size hail to small hen egg sized hail. This was from Benny Barber down in Narragansett just before 10 o'clock last night. And I mean, great job putting the soda can there so you can tell just how big that is. It's hard to fathom. I'm a little jealous I wasn't there to witness this firsthand. It's crazy to think that fell from the sky. Just unassumingly, you're walking along, the clouds get dark, and all of a sudden we get pouring rain, and then that coming right down at you. I would gather that there were a couple of dents and dings in places we would prefer not to see them after this event last night. Want to go back to that other graphic before we talk about relativity here, and let's see if we can get that second graphic going here. Yeah, there it goes. There's so many hail reports. I think the system's having a little bit of trouble with it. But this was that report from Benny right here in Narragansett. Around 2 inches in diameter. And you look at across the rest of the area, most of these numbers were between about 1 and 1.5, which is about quarter size, maybe $half size. We had plenty of reports, though, that weren't shown here. Pea-sized hail, dime-sized hail. It really was a widespread event. So again, we kind of had a range from as small as this to as big as that. And that is pretty rare, especially for our part of the country here, to get hail that large. This may not be considered large, in places like Texas. It's large for southern New England. So let's, again, break down what was happening here. First, we had a strong upper level jet, and that was digging right on over southern New England and kind of dictated the path of those storms and how they were able to blossom so nicely. But another big catalyst here was just how cold the air is up in the atmosphere, as I was talking with John a second ago. And that typically only happens in the spring months. You likely wouldn't see a 20,000 foot temperature well below zero in the middle of summer. It would still be cold, but not this cold. And I think that was a reason why we saw such incredible hail growth across our region yesterday. You have to remember, these thunderstorms, they go up 20, 30, even 40,000 feet. Very, very cold up there, even though we were in the 60s down here at the surface. And that's how you get that hail formation, kind of get that raindrop freezing, recycling up, down. You need strong updraft winds as well to blow that hailstone up to accumulate or accrete the ice and get it to grow in size. All right, much quieter out there today. Temperatures got into the upper 60s, still in the upper 60s this afternoon under partly sunny skies. We will see clouds coming in tonight. A little bit of light rain scooting along, especially for South County tomorrow morning, but it should dry up for the afternoon. But the big takeaway from tomorrow's weather, we're going to be about 10 to 15 degrees colder out there, just barely getting into the 50s in some spots, especially by the water. The weekend, not looking all that bad right now. We've got clear skies Saturday morning, mixing with clouds throughout the day. Can't rule out a sprinkle, but it's mostly a dry day. We're going to go partly sunny. We'll at least be back into the upper 50s to lower 60s maybe in spots. And for Mom, I'd say a little bit cloudier out there and a slight chance of a sprinkle as well, with a temperature, again, in the upper 50s. So not the best weather here for spring, especially after what Monday had. I got a memo from Mother Nature. One 75-degree day does not make up for all these days in the 50s. But again, at least we're not talking about severe weather going forward here. And we will get back to a bit of spring normalcy. Monday and Tuesday, highs in the upper 60s to around 70. We're watching for some showers then Wednesday and Thursday.